Okay, we're ready for another game in May Madness, round 2. Try to pick the games that I think might be interesting within the tournament to play for video purposes. So for today, I've got a second round game between the number 3 seed, the 2016 Chicago Cubs, and the number 6 seed, 2004 Boston Red Sox. So that's going to be the matchup, and the starting pitchers are already there. Jon Lester for the Cubs and Pedro Martinez for the Red Sox. So we will get going without further ado so I can get this game in and done with and not ramble too long, hopefully. So we're going to start things off with Johnny Damon. And Johnny Damon will be leading off against Jon Lester. And we are underway here in round 2 of May Madness. So Jon Lester with the pitch, and it's a 3-8 to Johnny Damon. So Damon against a lefty, 3-8, a fly to left, and we are underway as Johnny Damon is out. Here is Orlando Cabrera, the shortstop. Righty hitter, knocked down Lester. Righty hitter, it's a 6-10 against Lester. It's a ground ball third base X. That's Chris Bryant. And Chris Bryant, as a third baseman, is a 3. And that's a 4, so I have to see if he was able to corral that or not. Third baseman, a 3, and a 4 is actually going to be a base hit. So Chris Bryant unable to get to that. Orlando Cabrera will get a 1-out single. And that'll bring up Manny Ramirez. And that's a 6-6 against Lester. Against a righty, 1-17 is going to be a single with a star. Hello, statistician. And that is a 10, so it's a base hit for Ramirez. Puts runners at first and second with 1 out. And that'll bring up Big Papi Ortiz. Hello, Derek Oxenrider. How you doing? In case anybody's joining and wondering what game this is the 2016 Cubs against the 2004 Red Sox. Seed number 3 against seed number 6 in round 2. Here's Big Papi against his former teammate Lester. 4-6 against a lefty is a strikeout. So Lester put the whiff on Big Papi. 2 down, 2 on for Tech, Jason Varitek. Switch hitter batting right. It's a 5-5. And that's a chance for a home run right there. He does have normal power. So 1-9 will be a 3-run homer. 10-20 will just be a long out. It's a 6 rather. So Jason Varitek has just taken Jon Lester deep for a 3-run shot, and the 2004 Red Sox have grabbed a 3-0 lead here in the top of the first, thanks to Varitek's home run. Here's Kevin Millar, first baseman. That's a 5-3, and he found a home run chance right there, 1-10. He's got normal power again. So 1-10, and he'll have a home run. Back-to-back jacks. It's a 4, so Millar also goes deep. It's 4-0, and Lester's not having a good start to this ball game. Joe Madden may be on a short leash here. Here's Bill Miller, the third baseman. Switch hitter batting right. It's a 4-5, and that's a strikeout that's finally going to end the inning. But the Red Sox put up a 4 spot in the top of the first against the Cubs. And after 1/2 inning, it's 4-0, and now Pedro in to pitch against the Cubbies. Be facing Dexter Fowler to lead things off. That's a 2-8 for Fowler against the righty, and Fowler's got a chance for a home run, 1-4. 5-20 is still going to be a double. And that's a 9, so it's a leadoff double for Fowler, so both teams have their hitting shoes on. That'll bring up Chris Bryant. Chris Bryant, a 1-7. 1-7 against a righty. And there's a chance for another double, 1-8. And if it's a 9-20, it's a fly to center. It's a 4, so that's another double, back-to-back doubles. That will score Fowler, cuts the lead to 4-1. Cubs on the comeback. Here's Anthony Rizzo, first baseman. 2-9 against Pedro. 2-9, a lot of hits there, but he found a strikeout. So Anthony Rizzo with the whiff. And there's one away. For the cleanup hitter, left fielder Ben Zobrist. He's a switch hitter batting left. It's a 4-7 against Pedro. That's another strikeout. So Pedro racks up back-to-back Ks. 2 down for second baseman Javier Baez. And that's a 4-7. Pedro against the righty. Another strikeout. So he comes back to strike out the side after giving up back-to-back doubles. Controls the damage to 1 run. And after 1 inning, it's Boston 4 and Chicago 1. John Lester back out on the mound, but again, a short leash probably. Trot Nixon, the lefty, right fielder, will lead things off. It's a 1-7 for Nixon against a lefty. It's a fly to center, so 1 away. And that brings up Mark Bellhorn. I don't have a bell and I don't have a horn, so we'll just have to go with it. Mark Bellhorn, second baseman, switch hitter. Batting right, 4-6. 4-6 is a ground ball to short, and that's handled over there by Addison Russell. 2 away, so it looks like Lester maybe has calmed down since that first inning, whatever you want to call it, jitters or whatever. Top of the order with 2 outs and nobody on for Johnny Damon. It's a 1-8. And Johnny Damon, a 1-8, is a ground ball back to Lester to end the inning. I don't know if there was a slight hesitation in the video there. I'm not sure why, what caused that. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. It's kind of weird. But the inning is over, 3 up, 3 down. And now the Red Sox come back to, the Cubs come back to bat. It'll be DH Chris Coughlin against Pedro. 6-7 against the lefty is another strikeout. 4 strikeouts in a row for Pedro Martinez. And that'll bring up Addison Russell, the shortstop. Russell, a 6-6 against a righty, is another strikeout. That's 5 in a row for Pedro. He is on a roll. Now to bring up the catcher, David Ross. He was the personal catcher for John Lester, which is why he's playing. 5-5 against a righty is another strikeout. He struck out the side again. Struck out the side again goes Pedro. 6 strikeouts in a row. And we've completed 2 with the score. Cubs trailing 4-1 to the 0-4 Red Sox. John Lester back out on the bump facing Orlando Cabrera. And that's a 1-3 against a lefty. 1-3 for Cabrera. He just missed a home run. It's a ground ball to third. So Chris Bryant will handle it easily for 1 away. Brings up Manny Ramirez. That's a 6-6 for Lester against a righty. 1-17 is going to be a base hit. 18-20. 18-20, it's a 2, so that's a base hit. Base hit. 4-7K, right or left? Yep, sure is. All right, I'll make sure I didn't make an error there. Hopefully I didn't. All right, so Manny Ramirez got his base hit. That brings up Big Papi Ortiz as the Red Sox try to pile it on here. 6-5 against Lester. That's a ground ball shortstop X. And that's going to be Addison Russell. Russell is a 1 rated shortstop. And that's a 9, and that's an error check. So for Russell, he is an E16. And that's a 9. So an E16 and a 9 is a ground ball A. Ground ball A. So that's a double play. 6-4-3. And the inning is over. So Lester, other than that first inning, I don't know what happened to him in the first inning, but he sure had issues. Gets out of it here. We go to the bottom of the third, still 4-1. Pedro back on the bump. He struck out 6 in a row with strikeouts. So now Jason Hayward, number 9 hitter, steps to the plate. It's a 1-11. 1-11 for Hayward is a ground ball to second, and that's going to be 1 away. It does break up the strikeout streak, but the out is recorded. Here's Dexter Fowler. He doubled and scored his first time up. 4-4 for Fowler, switch hitter batting left. 4-4 is a fly ball center field X. That's Johnny Damon. Johnny Damon is a 2, and that's a 17, so that's a good play. So 2 away. I know everybody's used to seeing Strat and Super Advanced, so bear with me as I'm playing just the Advanced version in this tournament. Here's Chris Bryant. Bryant also doubled his first time up. It's a 5-2, and that's going to be a single. So it's a base hit for Bryant. He's 2 for 2. Brings up Anthony Rizzo as the Cubs try to battle back. It's a 6-10 against Pedro. 6-10 is a fly ball to right. There are no ballpark effects. Simply a fly to right to end the inning. And Pedro gets through the third with no problem. We go to the top of the fourth. And it'll be Jason Varitek. He had the big 3-run homer his first time up. He's up again against Lester. It's a 5-2. So Lester, a righty, 5-2. He just missed a chance for a home fly to right. And that'll be handled out there by Hayward, 1 away. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Kevin Millar. He also homered his first time up. 2-7 for Millar. And a 2-7. He just missed a chance for a home run. It's actually going to be a ground ball to short. And there are now 2 away. Derek, I have the 1998 set. It's a nice set. I got it off of from Moonlight Graham, I believe. Or it might have been eBay. I don't remember which. I think it was Moonlight Graham, though. 1-4 for Miller against Lester. It's a ground ball to the pitcher, and that's going to end the inning. So 3 up, 3 down. And other than that first inning, Lester has really pretty much been in control, but that first inning may be too much to overcome with a guy like Pedro on the mound. Here's Ben Zobrist, the left fielder. He will lead off for the Cubbies. 4-8 against a lefty. 4-8 is a possible triple. 1-3, but not likely. So 4-20, it's just a fly to center, and Damon will handle it. It's a 3. How about that? He gets his triple. A 1-3, and he found a 3. So Ben Zobrist with a leadoff triple, trying to get the Cubs back in the ball game. Here's Javier Baez, second baseman. Infield's playing back. They got a lead of 4-1. They don't want to start a big inning. 5-9 for Pedro is a ground ball to shortstop X. And that's Cabrera. He is a 2. And that's an 11, so that's an error check. And Cabrera's an E16. And that's a 5. So an E16 and a 5 is a 1-base error for Cabrera. So the run will score. And it's an E6. Baez reaches on the E6. Lead is cut to 4-2. And DH Chris Coghlan, the batter. Coghlan, 3-7 against Pedro. Coghlan will walk. So Pedro running a little bit of an issue here in the bottom of the fourth. Brings up Addison Russell, the shortstop. That's a 3-5 against Pedro. 3-5 is another strikeout for Pedro. This one coming off the batter card. But it is a strikeout nonetheless. 1 away for David Ross, catcher. And that's a 5-8. Pedro on a 5-8 is a fly to right for 2 down. Brings up Jason Hayward, number 9 hitter. It's a 6-7 against Pedro, and that is another strikeout right there. Strikeout with a dot, but we're nowhere near the point of weakness, so the strikeout stands. And the inning is over. So 1 run does come in, though. It's considered earned because even if he made the ground out, he would have scored anyway. So it's 4-2 ball game as we go to the 5th, and John Lester back on the bump. Here is Trot Nixon to lead things off, lefty on lefty. It's a 4-5 against Lester. That's a strikeout. So Trot Nixon out on strikes. Brings up Mark Bellhorn. Again, no bell and no horn, but we'll go with what we got. So no sound effects. 2-6 for Bellhorn against the lefty. 2-6 is a fly to center, and there's 2 away. Brings up Johnny Damon, and Damon is 0 for 2. 3-10 against the lefty Lester. 3-10 is a strikeout, so Lester got him. And that's going to do it in the 5th for the Red Sox. They have been shut down since that first inning, but they're trying to hold on to that lead. So here's Pedro back on the bump. He's facing Dexter Fowler at the top of the order for the Cubbies. It's a 5-7. Pedro against the lefty, 5-7. It's a ground ball second base X. That's Bellhorn. And the Red Sox weren't very good defensively in 2004. Mark Bellhorn is a 4-rated second baseman. But he got a break on an 18, so that's going to be, I believe, a good play, even for a 4-rated player, and it is. So Fowler is out of there. One away, and that brings up Chris Bryant. Bryant's 2 for 2, a single and a double. It's a 2-4 against Pedro. This time he is out, fly to right. So there's 2 away for Anthony Rizzo. As Pedro bears down, it's a 4-8. 4-8, and that's that same roll he had before. 1-3 is a triple, and last time I rolled a 3 and the triple stood, but this time most likely it's going to be a fly to center, and it is with that 8. So Pedro gets through the 5th with no damage. So we go to the 6th. Score still 4-2 in favor of the Red Sox. Lester will be facing Orlando Cabrera to start the inning. 5-8 against a right-hander is a ground ball third base A. So handled over there by Chris Bryant, 1 away. For Manny Ramirez. Manny Ramirez, it's a 2-12 for Manny against the lefty. 2-12 is a possible home run, 1-10. There is no ballpark effect, so it's a 1-10 for Manny Ramirez to go yard. And it's a 15, so unfortunately he will fly to left. And there's 2 away, so he got under it just a little bit too much. Didn't have quite the carry he needed. Here's Big Papi. So 111 for Papi against the lefty. 111 is going to be a single for Big Papi, so it's a 2-out single for Ortiz. That'll bring up Veritek. Switch hitter 410. 410 for Veritek is a fly to center field X. That's Fowler. Fowler is a 3. And can't see it, but it's an 18, so that's a good play. And that's going to end the inning. So 5 scoreless turned in by Lester after that first inning debacle. Keeps the score at 4-2. As we go to the bottom of the 6th, and Ben Zobrist, left fielder, he tripled his last time up. It's a 3-9 against Pedro. 3-9 is going to be a fly to right. And there's 1 away, handled out there by Trot Nixon. That'll bring up Javier Baez, second baseman. It's a 5-7. Pedro hasn't had a strikeout in a while. He's not going to get one here either. It's a ground ball to second. That is Miller. Again, he is a 4. I'm sorry, it's Bellhorn. He is a 4-rated second baseman. But it's a 20 on the D20, so even a 4-rated second baseman will make that play with ease. 2 away for Chris Coghlan. Coughlin's a 6-8 against Pedro. And it's a 1-8 for a single. 9-20 will be a line out to Bellhorn. It's a 1, so it's a base hit for Coghlan. 2-out single keeps the inning going for Addison Russell. And Addison Russell hasn't done so well. He struck out twice. 4-7 against Pedro. He's going to strike out again, so he's got the hat trick. Pedro got him 3 times. And that 4-7, as Earl mentioned earlier, is a strikeout whether it's righty or lefty. And Russell has a tendency of finding that role. So he is out of there. Now we start the 7th, and this is the point of weakness inning for Lester. So we'll keep an eye on him, although he has been rolling. Pardon the pun. All right, Kevin Millar will lead things off for the Red Sox. It is a 3-9 against the lefty. That is a strikeout. So Lester puts the whiff on Millar. Brings up Bill Miller. Probably weird to hear a guy from Virginia try to talk like somebody from Boston. Probably doesn't go over very well, does it? All right, 6-3 for Lester against a righty, Miller, who's a switch hitter. That's a single to left field. And that's 1 notch on the point of weakness for Lester. And the Cubs bullpen is starting to shift a little bit and move around. It's a 5-7 for Trot Nixon. That's a fly ball to center, and there's 2 away. Brings up Mark Bellhorn, switch hitter. It's a 5-4. That's a fly ball to left, and the inning is over. So Lester really cruising since that first inning. He liked to have that first inning back. And now Pedro Martinez starts his point of weakness inning, which is inning number 7. And we're going to get a pinch hitter because Ross is the personal catcher for Lester, but they need offense. So Lester's going to have to either stay in there or get taken out. They need some offense. So they are going to their bench. And Miguel Montero will pinch hit for Ross here to start the bottom of the 7th. And if you're wondering why Montero didn't start originally, like I said, Ross was the personal catcher for Lester, so I wanted to kind of follow that trend. But Montero is going to pinch hit to lead off the bottom of the 7th. It's a 5-9, and a 5-9 is a ground ball to short, and that's an X rating, of course. So we've got Cabrera, who's a 2, and that's a 1, so that's a base hit. So Miguel Montero with a pinch hit single gets things going for the Cubs. That'll bring up Jason Hayward as they try to rally against Pedro. It's 3-3 for Hayward. 3-3 is another single, so that's 2 notches on the fatigue for Pedro. So the bullpen for the Red Sox getting busy. And slow-running Montero stops at second on that base hit. Down 4-2, you don't want to take any chances. Here's Dexter Fowler. He's only a C bunter, so they're going to have him swing away. He's a hit-and-run D, so that's even worse. All right, so 4-5 for Pedro against a lefty, and that is a strikeout. So Pedro gets the big whiff on Fowler. Brings up Chris Bryant, and the tying runs are on base. Here's Chris Bryant. Joe Madden hoping for a dinger. 5-7. 5-7 is going to be a ground ball second base X. That's Miller again. But again, it's 4. It's Bellhorn, and he's a 4. And that's an error check with an 11. So Bellhorn is an E15. E15 and an 11 as a second baseman. E15 and an 11 is a ground ball A. So he made the play. And that's going to be a double play to 4-6-3 as Hayward is out of there. Going to second, and Brian is doubled up to end the inning. So we've completed 7 innings, and the score remains the Red Sox 4 and the Cubs 2. And now call him John Madden. Joe Madden is mulling over whether he wants to leave Lester in the game. And you hate to take him out. He's pitching so well, so they're going to stick with him. Even though he doesn't have his personal catcher anymore, he's going to have to throw to Montero and like it. So he's going to start off facing Johnny Damon, lefty on lefty. It's a 5-7, and it's a fly to center, so Lester's still going strong. We'll bring up Orlando Cabrera. It's a 6-2. 6-2 is going to be a walk. So that is notch number 2 against Lester. So one more base hit or walk, and he will have reached his point of weakness. He's going to face Manny Ramirez. It's a 3-8. 3-8 for Ramirez is a ground ball third base A. That's a 5-4-3 around the horn double play. And Lester gets out of trouble again as he has pitched 8 complete innings. And other than that first inning, he has pitched very, very well. So now Pedro's going to hang in there because he's only had 2 notches against his point of weakness. So Anthony Rizzo, but one more walker hit and he will reach that point of weakness. Anthony Rizzo, a 5-6, is a strikeout. So we got the strikeout before he could get the point of weakness. One away for Ben Zobrist, the left fielder. And that's a 5-10. 5-10 is a ground ball shortstop X. And that's going to be Cabrera, who's a 2. And that's a 1, so it's a base hit for Zobrist. And now Pedro has officially reached his point of weakness. Now, do you want to keep going with him or try the bullpen? Their bullpen wasn't that good until you get to Folke. They didn't really have a whole lot with the middle relief. They had Timlin, and Timlin wasn't all that great, to be honest with you. So actually, they're gonna stick with. They're gonna pull the old. I forget the manager's name now. That stuck with Pedro too long. They got criticized for it. I'm drawing a blank on his name, and I should know it because he managed in Richmond in the minor leagues, and now I can't think of his name. Oh well, it'll come to me later. Here's Javier Baez. It's a 3-4 for Baez. 3-4 is a hit by pitch. So Pedro plunks Baez, and that's going to probably have to be it. Pedro is, I think, lost it. So we go to the bullpen. Chris Coughlin, the batter coming up, do they want to let Folke try to get a 5-out save? They will. So Keith Folke, or Folk, I think it's pronounced Folke, will be coming in to try to get a 5-out save and send the Red Sox into the Sweet 16. Chris Coughlin, the first man he will face. It's 4-10. 4-10 is a fly ball to center, and that's 1 away, or 2 away, rather. Brings up Addison Russell. Addison Russell. It is a 3-6. 3-6 for Russell. It's a pop out to short, and the inning is over. So Folke did his job to perfection. And we go to the 9th. Score remains 4-2. And I think they're going to finally go ahead and take Lester out of there. He's given them 8. Other than the first inning, he's given them 8 stellar innings. But now they're going to have to go to that bullpen. And it looks like they are going to go to Aroldis Chapman. Makes it pretty obvious, right? Go to Aroldis Chapman, your closer. Derek, I live about 12 minutes from Fort Lee, so I'm right in that general area. Let's see here. So Chapman will come in to pitch the top of the 9th, and the first man he faces will be Big Papi, David Ortiz. Lefty on lefty matchup. Tough matchup for Ortiz. See if he can handle it. 5-6. Well, he actually draws a walk out of that. So Ortiz coaxes a walk out of Chapman. And that'll bring up Jason Varitek. 6-8. 6-8 for Varitek. He's a right-handed hitter. That is a strikeout for Chapman. His card is loaded with strikeouts, as you might imagine. Here's Kevin Millar. So 6-6, and that's another strikeout for Chapman. So 2 down for Bill Miller, switch hitter. And we get a 4-7 batting right, and that's the 3rd strikeout for Chapman. So we go to the bottom of the 9th, last chance for the Red Sox. For the Cubs, as Keith Folke will be in to try to get that 5-out save. He's going to face the bottom of the order, Montero, Hayward, and Fowler. Looking on the Cubs bench, and they could go to a pinch hitter if they can find a decent one. Jorge Soler, but he only had 238 for the year, so that's not a good option. Let's see here. I don't want to use Schwarber because he's got a tainted card with 4 at-bats. Contreras, the backup catcher, is another possibility. But they're going to go ahead and let Montero swing away. We'll see what happens when they get to Hayward's spot. So Montero's leading it off. 5-8 against Folke is a ground ball second base X. That, again, is Bellhorn. He's a 4, and that's an 8, so we got an error check. And Bellhorn is a E15, and that's a 7 on an E15 second baseman. E15 and a 7, he will make the play. Ground ball A, 6-8 right there. So 1 away. And they're going to go ahead and let Hayward bat, I guess. Now you know what? They're going to bench Hayward. Hayward, even though he got a singles last time up, they're benching him for Contreras. Contreras is going to pinch hit. Even though he's a righty, he's a better hitter. So we have a 3-2 for Contreras. 3-2, he just missed a home run. He does get a single. So it's a pinch hit single for Contreras. And actually, did I say that right? 3-2. I missed that. My bad. Contreras 3-2 is actually a ground ball A. I looked at 3-3 by mistake. It was 3-2. On the dice, there's 3-2. So actually, it's a ground ball to short. So I take that back. It was not a hit. Had I left Hayward in there, he at least would have walked, but didn't happen. So I'm glad I caught that. I almost missed that mistake, but it's a 6-3 ground out for out number 2. So the Cubs are down to the last batter, Dexter Fowler. 2 outs, base is empty. The 4. Earl, I got these off from Moonlight Graham at a greatly discounted price. So the Red Sox cards have writing on them. I'm not even sure what that means. If that means that there's some kind of rating that he had against lefties or righties. It could be whoever had the cards before me just put them there for some strange reason. But that's the reason why they're there. I mean, I got these things. I think I got them for 20. I think I got the whole season of 2004 for $25. So, but obviously they're used, and that's why they're marked up. But I just want the results in here. I don't care about everything else. The price was right, so I went for it. All right, here is Dexter Fowler. Last chance. 5'9". He's a lefty. 5'9". It's a strikeout, and Folke closes it out. The Red Sox, number 6 seed, defeat the number 3 seed Cubs by the score of 4-2. And the 4 runs in the first inning by the Red Sox stood up for the entire game. They held on for those 4 runs they got in the first, took them all the way to the victory. And with that victory, we can pencil them in, or pen them in if you want to say that. The 04 Red Sox in the Sweet 16 will move on to face Joe DiMaggio and the 1941 Yankees, who have defeated the 83 Orioles. And in earlier action, the 67 Impossible Dream Red Sox defeated the 73 A's. And so the next game on the agenda is the 14 Giants against the 86 Red Sox. So if the 86 Red Sox win, you got Red Sox against Red Sox in the Sweet 16. You already got the Red Sox down here. So this is a Red Sox-laden bracket here. And I did these by win-loss record, so it wasn't my doing. It was just the way they fell in by wins and losses. So the Red Sox get the victory over the Cubs. Those 4 runs in the first stood up till the end. The big blow was the Jason Varitek 3-run homer. And then, of course, it was followed up by Kevin Millar's solo shot. And that was all she wrote, is all Pedro needed to get that done. Now that Pedro has pitched, Kurt Schilling and his bloody sock will be available again for the next round, as he has had his adjusted rest. And the Cubs will go back in the sin bin. And so I have to eschew these nice envelopes that I got and put them back in there with the rest of the 2016 set for future use. So that's pretty much it from here. Unless anybody has any comments, I'd be glad to chat for a second or two while I wrap things up. Otherwise, I'm not sure if one of the Earls might have a game lined up here shortly. Either the APA Liga Domination or potentially the Tenacious League. Tenacious 2.0, I think it's appropriately called. I do have some free time this weekend, so I plan on playing some games tomorrow. Don't know if it'll be Strat or whether it'll be something else. I might do something with History Maker Baseball or Replay Baseball. Haven't decided yet, but I'll figure that out as I go. So I appreciate all you guys watching and give me some company as we play this game. Yeah, Derek, some of my older sets that I got from Moonlight Graham or from eBay for that matter had some writings on them where I guess they put the super advanced ratings on there by hand, and that's how I was able to get those at a better price, or a cheaper price, which works for me fine. I could care less about that. So let me see if this works here. Can I get this to work? I'm trying to get this to flip for me, but there we go. Not that you wanted to see me, but instead of looking at this at this thing, I figured you might want to see a person instead, even if it is me. So anyway, that's it from here. I've got to get going. Did this after work, just trying to let the 5 o'clock traffic die down and the rain die down. And so now I've got to head home and get ready for the evening's activities. And like I said, I'll be probably putting something out tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, one or the other. I'll have to figure it out whether it's a strat game or whether it's going to be, History Maker Baseball. Could be doing something with the 87 Braves. Put another game on for that. I'm not sure. But that's it from here. Hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Don't forget Mother's Day, of course. If you're like me, you've got a mother that you don't know what to buy for, so I've got to think of something between now and then. It's like the mother who has everything. What do you get them? So I'll think of something besides a card, but I'll have to think of that between now and Sunday. So stay tuned, hopefully, down the road this evening for one of the Earls on Tabletop Baseball to present either a strat game or APA game or something like that. And until next time, I will see everyone down the road.